Hey there, everyone. How are we doing today? I think we need to talk about a crazy, frankly, unbelievable housing forecast. It's a 5-year housing forecast done by National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yoon. I think you need to pay attention to that. We can talk about what is going on with Airbnb bust in Los Angeles County. I think you will be shocked at the data that the LA Times is reporting. We need to talk about negative equity. We can talk about what the Fed just said this morning. But most importantly, I need a favor. Yes, folks, I rarely do this, but I need a favor from you today if you can. Ken McElroy was nice enough to interview myself last week, and the first video went out this morning. Ken McElroy and I and Daniil talked for about an hour. And what they did is they released about an 8-minute clip this morning. So I need a favor. Can you go to Ken McElroy's YouTube channel today? Find the video. It's called A Success Story, One Rental at a Time, I believe. And I would love for you to leave a comment asking Ken to release the whole video. That's something that would be wonderful. I give you value every day. I'm hoping you could give me a couple of minutes. Again, go to Ken McElroy's YouTube channel. Go to the video. Leave a comment saying, Ken, can you release the entire interview? I would greatly appreciate it. I would love for all of you to see the hour conversation because we went over a lot of stuff. We talked about the similarities between 08 and 2023 commercial versus residential. We talked about buying alligators. We talked about doing the work. There was so much stuff covered in that hour conversation that I would love for you all to see it. So again, go to Ken McElroy, go to the video, leave a comment saying, Ken, please release the entire video on YouTube. I think you will be happy that you did. So let's get into the news first. Let's talk about this 5-year forecast. Lawrence Yoon. I don't know what to tell you. I think this is a rosy, perhaps biased opinion. It is not one that I agree with, right? I get accused of being a housing bull all the time, but we will dispel that belief right now. So Lawrence Yoon is calling for a 15 to 25% increase in value over the next 5 years. So to be clear, he's talking about out till 2028. So underneath his opinion, these are what he is assuming for interest rates, because I think it is fair to assume you have to understand interest rates. He sees 7% mortgages for the rest of 23 and most of 24. He thinks rates will fall to about 5.5 in 2025. He does see transactions in 2024 totaling 5.3 million, not getting back till 6 million until 2027. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack here. I think interest rates is the most interesting one. He's a little higher than I am. I'm not sure we are over 7% in 2024. That is something that will be interesting because I think we are seeing the impact of 7% plus. Again, I expect both August and September existing home sales to be under 4 million. Again, if he's assuming 7% interest rates for 2024, which is in his base assumption, I have no idea how he gets 5.3 million transactions. I don't see how those two tie together. If you could say we're going to have 5.5% rates somewhere in 2024, maybe. But at the end of the day, if I were to guess, I'm going to put transactions for 2024 way under 5 million, probably a lot closer to 4 million than 5 million. So again, a lot of stuff there. If you want to go read the article, go ahead and type in Lawrence Yoon bank rate. This was a bank rate survey, so you can get that. I don't know about you, but what are you forecasting for housing? Again, median price for 5 years. For me, it's, I don't know, plus or minus 5%, 6%. I am under the staunch belief that we got the full decade of appreciation in 2 years, and we are going to be relatively flat for the next 5 to 8 years. So again, But it was a very interesting article. I want to shout out Jen. Jen sent that to me. I had missed that. So guys, thank you for sending me your articles. It was very nice to get that one. Very interesting read. How about homes with negative equity? Get ready for the crash bros or doomers to talk about negative equity. As we do all the time on this channel, we not only bring you the headlines, but we bring you the truth. It is true to say that negative equity homes are spiking, are up on a percentage basis. However, let's look at it in absolute terms. It is true that as of today, 2023, there are 344,000 homes underwater, sitting with negative equity. That is a lot when you compare to months and quarters gone by. It is up something like 25 or 30%. It is a scary, scary headline. However, if you want to make today like the Great Recession, which I know a lot of doomers and crash bros will, let's just talk about facts. Today we have 344,000 homes underwater. At the peak of 2008, we had 16 million plus. For those of you that are bad at math, that is 2.2%. So if you are going to put out a scary video that says housing underwater just like last time, you are being intellectually dishonest, because 2.2% is nothing like last time. Let's not confuse statistics and percentages with absolute numbers. How about the Fed? We've got more Fed presidents coming out and saying what I've been talking about, right? The Fed is done. The Fed is done. Today, Susan Collins came out and said, the Fed can proceed cautiously, but if inflation proves fleeting, we will, of course, raise interest rates. Folks, the Fed is done, in my opinion. There is no September rate hike. They are going to talk tough as they have to. They need to talk tough, it's obvious. But yes, folks, it's over. The real question is, when is the cut? And as of right now, you know that I'm hoping the cut is not till 2025. I still believe something we brought up a week ago, and of course 6 or 9 months ago, the Fed put must be killed. The Fed put was introduced by Greenspan when he came out with the money printer go burr to bail out over leverage and speculation. My hope is we let the capitalist system work and the illiquid and over leveraged folks get hurt and they pay the price. So again, I'm hoping the Fed put is killed. If they can keep rates into 2025, I think we could all say the Fed put is killed. Certainly not a guarantee, not a certainty, but it is my hope that we are able to put that behind us. Next thing, folks, did you know 2024 is 4 months away? Obviously, we're September, but it hit me yesterday. 2024 is 4 months away. Lots of you have talked about getting into real estate investing, doing the work, getting a buy box. We bring you content every day on this channel. But what have you done? What have you done this year? Do you have a buy box? Have you looked at it every day? What are you seeing? Remember, folks, if you signed up for the boot camp, we have our first phone call tomorrow. I'm calling it day 0 because it is not counting against our 10 days together. If you can't make it, the video will be posted on Teachable probably later that evening, so it'll be there for you to watch the replay. But yes, you can still buy it. It's $9.97. Don't put it on a credit card. Don't pay interest. None of that stuff. I think we have 3 or 4 spots still left because we are capping it at 50. But yes, if you wanted to join, there's 3 or 4 spots left. Next up, let's talk about Airbnb. Airbnb bust. We've all heard about it. I've talked about it. There was an article written in the LA Times, of all places, talking about Airbnb in Los Angeles County. Interesting data when you poke underneath the headline. So first, if you don't know, LA County has adopted some pretty stringent registration guidelines, which is obviously reducing the numbers, right? Supply and demand at its finest. What has happened in LA County is in 2019, In 2019, they had 16,973 Airbnb listings. Today, August of 23, 4 years later, it's down to 7,360. So that's a more than 50% drop. As you might suspect, when supply drops by 50%, guess what happens to price? Price goes up. The average daily rate in 2019 was $152. The average daily rate in 2023 is $244. So again, what would you call that? Yeah, that's more than a 50% jump. So again, 50% raise in price with a 50% drop in supply. LA is cracking down and actually charging an occupancy tax. So again, not only the daily rates are up, but now if you are getting into an Airbnb, you have a 14% occupancy tax. So again, tax revenue being collected in LA County from Airbnb. So again, lots of stuff going on there. Don't forget, you're going to start hearing about a lot of government shutdown talk. Yes, at the end of September, we could be in a government shutdown. You may hear about something called continuous resolution. That is nothing more than a stopgap measure. Remember though, the Fitch downgrade of the US debt was mainly because of the nonsense that occurs in Washington, D.C. So, will the politicians once again prove to be children and force a shutdown? Will they cut spending? I don't know. It is going to be very interesting things going on. Then lastly, there was an article in Market Watch talking about the real estate market. Nothing that would be surprising to you if you watch this channel, but it is very interesting to hear others finally catch up with one rental at a time. With number one, rapid rate hikes. Two, froze the supply side and hurt demand. Three, because supply is frozen, it is keeping prices high. Four, this is aggravating affordability. And then five, especially for first-time home buyers. Folks, the housing market is quite simply broken. The Fed, with their low rates for too long, not only allowed purchases, but also refis. We have too many people with 2s, 3s, and 4s on their mortgage. We have an effective interest rate across all residential mortgages of 3.6%. If you include paid off properties, that has to drop it to under 3%. These folks have no motivation to move. They're not going anywhere. We're just stuck in a slow market. Transactions stay low, sideways prices, and going to be pretty interesting. So folks, last couple of things I noted. Roku is cutting 10%. Looks like the layoffs are continuing, especially for unprofitable tech companies. Roku's cutting 10% of staff. Southwest Airlines with a surprise announcement about August bookings. August bookings we're at the low end of expectations. What does this mean? Is the consumer cracking? Is the revenge travel over? I don't know. And then finally, mortgage rates are down 2% week on week, 28% year on year. Folks, transactions are going under 4 million. I don't know how it doesn't happen for August and September. Folks, again, remember my request, my favor, my plead. Please go to Ken McElroy. You can watch the 8-minute video if you would like, but please go to the comments and ask Ken to release the entire hour video. Also, I will go to Ken's channel a couple of times today and reply to you, thanking you for that. So please, folks, go to Ken McElroy's channel right now. Pull up that video and say, hey, Ken, would you release the entire interview? I would greatly appreciate it, folks. Take care of yourself. Have an amazing day. Like, subscribe, comment. Keep being awesome. Bye-bye.